Have you ever felt as if time itself was holding its breath, waiting for you? Not the clock on the wall, not the dates on a calendar, but something deeper, an invisible rhythm that suddenly pauses, as though the universe is whispering, "Your moment is near." I once heard the story of a man who, after years of disappointment, woke up one morning to find a white feather on his doorstep. He thought nothing of it, brushed it away, and went on with his day. But the next morning, there was another, and another the day after. Soon, opportunities he never thought possible began to appear. Doors he had knocked on for decades suddenly opened, as if they had been waiting all along. He realized that the feathers weren't random, they were the universe arranging signs, aligning him with a destiny that had quietly been forming behind the veil of his struggles. Maybe you felt something similar, a strange sequence of coincidences, the same number following you everywhere, or unexpected encounters that seemed too perfect to dismiss. Deep inside, you know these moments are not accidents, they are signals. They are whispers that grow louder until one day they no longer whisper at all. This video is not about luck, and it's not about wishing harder. It's about what really happens when the universe decides your time has arrived. And what you're about to discover may completely shift the way you understand your life, your choices, and even your purpose. But before we uncover what the universe sends when your hour finally comes, let me ask you something. Have you noticed lately that things in your life are moving in patterns too precise to ignore? That obstacles you once faced are dissolving, and yet new challenges arise as if they were handpicked to test you? Stay with me. We will peel back the first layer of this mystery and see why so many people miss the very signs that could change everything. Have you ever felt like life is trying to speak to you in a language you don't fully understand? You wake up from the same dream night after night. The details might shift, a face, a room, a setting, but the message lingers like an echo you can't ignore. At first, you shrug it off, just a dream, but deep down you know it's more than that. It's as if your subconscious is trying to deliver a letter sealed by the universe itself. Or maybe you've glanced at the clock, only to notice the same number repeating over and over, 11:11, 3:33, 4:44. At first, it feels like chance. But then it happens again and again, until you can't shake the feeling that something unseen is orchestrating these moments with surgical precision. You wonder, why these numbers? Why now? And most of all, what do they mean for me? Some of you may have felt it in your body, a sudden heaviness in your chest when you think about a decision. Goosebumps that rise at the exact moment someone says words that seem meant for you. A shiver down your spine when you step into a place you've never been, but it feels oddly familiar, as if your soul remembers what your mind has forgotten. These aren't accidents. They are part of a hidden dialogue between you and the universe, one that bypasses logic and speaks directly to your inner knowing. But here's the struggle. Most of the world tells you to ignore it. Society says you're imagining things, that coincidences don't mean anything, that intuition is unreliable. So you doubt yourself. You silence the quiet voice inside because the outside world insists it's just your imagination. And yet, late at night, when you're alone with your thoughts, you can't deny the sense that there's something more, something calling. Think about the times you've crossed paths with someone completely by chance, on the street, in a coffee shop, online, and that single meeting changed everything. A friend you didn't know you needed. A piece of advice that arrived exactly when you were about to give up. A connection that opened a door you never even knew existed. Were these mere coincidences, or were they carefully placed milestones in your journey, guiding you toward a destiny that's been waiting for you all along? These experiences can be thrilling, but they can also be painful. Because when signs keep showing up and you don't understand them, it feels like standing in front of a locked door with the key hidden just out of reach. You sense the importance, You feel the urgency, but you don't know how to translate the message. And so many people carry this invisible weight, the ache of feeling that life is trying to reveal something extraordinary, but they can't quite grasp what it is. Maybe you've felt restless without knowing why. Maybe your heart beats faster at the thought of change, but your mind clings to the safety of the familiar. Maybe you've even asked in silence, why do I keep seeing these signs if I'm not meant to understand them? That question, the burning desire to know what's really happening when the universe begins to surround you with patterns, dreams, numbers, and sensations, is the doorway into a truth that most people never discover. Because these signals are not random, they are not background noise. They are the first clues that your life is shifting into a higher alignment, preparing you for something greater than you can imagine. And here lies the mystery. If the universe is speaking, then what exactly is it trying to say? And why does it choose certain moments, certain people, certain seasons of your life to begin the conversation? In the next chapter, we will uncover the very first revelation, the secret that explains why these signs appear and what they truly mean for the path ahead. But before we step through that door, let me leave you with this question. When the universe calls, do you recognize its voice, or are you mistaking it for silence? The first great sign the universe sends when your true hour arrives is clarity. But not the kind of clarity that comes from overthinking or analyzing every possibility. This is a clarity that pierces through confusion, like a sudden ray of sunlight breaking through a stormy sky. It doesn't come from your mind. It comes from somewhere deeper, a place where truth has always been waiting. Throughout history, every spiritual tradition has spoken of this moment. Ancient mystics called it illumination. The Bible describes it as scales falling from the eyes, as happened to Paul on the road to Damascus, when a man blinded by his own path suddenly saw for the first time. In Eastern wisdom, it is compared to the lotus flower rising from the mud, untouched by the dirt, blooming into perfection at the surface. This clarity is not earned by logic. It is received as grace. What does it feel like? It feels as though questions that haunted you for years suddenly no longer need answers. A relationship you clung to, desperately trying to make it work, is revealed for what it truly is. Not a lifeline, but a chain. A career you thought defined you suddenly looks small, unable to contain the vastness of who you are becoming. And most importantly, the endless noise of your doubts quiets, and a single, undeniable direction emerges. Perhaps you've already tasted it. That moment when you stood at a crossroads and for no explainable reason knew which way to go. Not because someone told you, not because it was logical, but because your spirit recognized the path as your own. That knowing is the universe's first gift to those whose time has come. But here's the secret most people don't understand. Clarity is rarely gentle. When it arrives, it strips away illusions. It forces you to confront truths you may not be ready to see. This is why so many resist it. They prefer the fog of confusion, because in the fog you can avoid responsibility. You can hide from your calling. But once the light breaks through, you can't unsee it. You either step forward into who you are meant to be, or you remain forever haunted by the truth you refuse to embrace. Think of Moses before the burning bush. The clarity was undeniable. He was being called to lead. But with that clarity came the terror of responsibility. Think of Mary, visited by the angel. The clarity of her destiny was a blessing, but also a weight she had to carry in faith. In every sacred story, the first revelation is always clarity, the removal of doubt, the unveiling of purpose. And this clarity does not only arrive in ancient stories, it arrives today, in ordinary lives, in yours. It comes when repeated numbers on a clock tell you, pay attention. It comes when a dream shows you what your waking mind refuses to see. It comes when life strips away what no longer serves you, no matter how tightly you hold on, until you have no choice but to admit what you already knew inside. But here is the hidden teaching. Clarity is not just a gift, it is a test. Because once you see, you cannot pretend to be blind. Once you know, you cannot go back to not knowing. And the universe will always ask, what will you do with the truth you've been shown? Most people fail here. They receive clarity, but dismiss it as coincidence. They feel the undeniable pull, but bury it under excuses. They beg for signs, but when the signs come, they choose comfort instead of courage. And so, their time does not arrive, not because the universe withheld it, but because they rejected the first revelation. Yet for those who dare to accept it, something extraordinary happens. The fog lifts. Life begins to move differently. What once took years of hesitation now unfolds in weeks. People begin to notice something different in you. Your words carry a weight. Your presence shifts the atmosphere around you, because clarity has aligned you with the current of your true destiny. Maybe you're feeling it now. Maybe you're realizing that the very doubts, the very struggles, the very patterns you thought were random have actually been preparing you for this moment of recognition. The universe is not whispering anymore. It is speaking directly to you through clarity that cannot be ignored. And if you feel that resonance deep in your chest, if you feel as though these words were meant for you, then understand, this is not just a video you stumbled upon. This is part of the sign itself. The message has reached you because you were ready to hear it. If this awakening is touching you, I invite you to support this space by liking this video and subscribing. This isn't about numbers or algorithms. It's about building a community, a circle of seekers who recognize the hidden language of the universe. By joining, you step into that circle, and together we uncover truths that most of the world is too blind to see. And now that you know the first revelation, the gift and challenge of clarity, you must ask yourself, what happens when the universe not only reveals the path, but begins to rearrange reality itself to push you forward? Several years ago, there was a woman named Anna. On the surface, her life looked ordinary, a modest job, a small apartment, a quiet routine. But beneath the surface, Anna carried a deep restlessness, a gnawing sense that she was living a life that did not truly belong to her. Each morning she would wake with a heaviness in her chest, and each night she would go to bed with a question echoing in her mind. Is this really all there is? Then something strange began to happen. At first, it was subtle. She noticed that every time she glanced at her phone, the numbers 1111 would appear. She laughed it off, told herself it was a coincidence. But soon the signs multiplied. On her commute, she would pass a billboard with the number 333 glowing in bold print. Receipts, license plates, even the total of her groceries seemed to be coded with repeating sequences. It was as if reality itself was trying to speak to her in a secret language. One night, Anna had a dream. She found herself standing in an old church, the air thick with the smell of candle wax and stone. A voice she could not see whispered, "It is time." When she woke, her pillow was damp with tears she did not understand. She carried the weight of that dream into her day, unable to shake the sensation that something monumental was stirring. The following week, she faced a turning point. Her company announced layoffs, and her name was on the list. At first, she panicked. Fear rushed through her like ice water. How would she pay her rent? What would she do next? But as she sat with the news, she remembered the dream. She remembered the voice. And she realized that what felt like an ending was, in truth, the stripping away of everything that no longer served her. That night, she went for a walk under the city lights. The air was cool, carrying the faint scent of rain. As she crossed a bridge, she noticed a man standing alone playing a violin. The melody was haunting, filled with both sorrow and hope. She stopped to listen, and for reasons she could not explain, Tears streamed down her face. The man noticed her, lowered his bow and said quietly, "Sometimes the universe has to break us open so the light can come through." He smiled, and without another word, returned to his song. Anna felt something shift inside her. It was as if the universe had sent her that encounter as a confirmation. She was not lost, she was being guided. From that day forward, she began to follow the signs instead of ignoring them. She kept a journal of every synchronicity, every dream, every intuitive nudge. Slowly, patterns emerged. Opportunities arrived in places she never thought to look. She met new friends who spoke the same hidden language of numbers and symbols. And little by little, she rebuilt her life, not from fear, but from clarity. Looking back, Anna realized that the layoff had not been a curse. It had been protection. The dream had not been random. It had been preparation. And the man with the violin had not been coincidence. He had been a messenger, reminding her that endings are simply disguised beginnings. Her story is not unique. Many of you watching have felt the same whispers, the same nudges, the same inexplicable patterns weaving themselves into your daily life. The question is not whether the signs are real. The question is whether you will allow yourself to believe them, to follow them, to let them transform the way Anna did. And this is where I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced a moment like Anna's? A dream that shook you, a number that followed you, an encounter that felt like it was orchestrated by something greater? Share it in the comments below. I read every story, and in future videos, I may even mention your experience so others can see they are not alone on this path. Because if Anna's journey reveals anything, it's this. When the universe begins to speak, it speaks with precision, and those who dare to listen will find themselves carried into a destiny they never thought possible. But Anna's story doesn't end with signs and dreams. For when the universe opens your eyes, it does not stop there. It begins to accelerate everything: time, opportunities, even your own inner transformation, until your life feels almost unrecognizable. The second great sign the universe sends when your true hour has arrived is acceleration. Life begins to move at a rhythm you cannot explain. What once took years seems to unfold in months. Doors open before you even have the chance to knock. Conversations appear at the exact moment you need them. Time itself seems to bend, guiding you with a momentum that feels both exhilarating and disorienting. At first, this acceleration can feel overwhelming. You may find yourself saying, "Everything is happening too fast. I can't keep up." But here is the secret. It is not life rushing ahead. It is you finally stepping into alignment with the current that has always been flowing beneath your feet. When you stop resisting your path, when you accept the clarity you've been shown, the universe carries you forward with a force you never imagined possible. Think about a river. When you swim against it, every movement feels exhausting, progress is slow, and the destination seems unreachable. But the moment you let go and trust the current, you are carried effortlessly. Acceleration is not chaos, it is flow. It is the universe revealing that you are no longer fighting your destiny, but moving in harmony with it. This is why so many people, once they begin noticing signs, also notice that life suddenly feels like it's speeding up. Opportunities arrive back to back. Relationships form and dissolve at lightning pace. Changes that would have terrified them before now unfold as if orchestrated. It is not because they are suddenly lucky, it is because they are tuned to the rhythm of divine timing. So how can you recognize this acceleration in your own life? There are three common markers. Synchronicities cluster together. Instead of one or two coincidences, you begin to experience a cascade of them almost daily. Resistance fades, Paths that were once blocked suddenly open with ease, as if invisible obstacles have been removed. Time feels different. Some days stretch like years of wisdom compressed into hours, while others vanish in what feels like seconds. And here is the practical technique: tracking your acceleration. Take a notebook and for the next 7 days, write down every synchronicity, every door that opens, every unusual timing that surprises you. Do not dismiss anything as too small. By the end of the week, you will see a pattern, a rhythm, that shows you where the current of acceleration is trying to carry you. This practice does 2 things. First, it sharpens your awareness so you stop missing the signals that are already there. Second, it builds trust. When you look back and see the undeniable alignment of events, you begin to understand that you are not drifting randomly through life. You are being guided. This is the wisdom hidden in ancient teachings. Jesus often spoke of the appointed hour, moments when time itself was fulfilled and everything aligned for a greater purpose. The prophets spoke of seasons, divine timings, when the impossible suddenly became possible. Even the mystics of the East described the dance of karma resolving in sudden bursts, where lifetimes of lessons unfold in a single season of transformation. Acceleration is the universe's way of telling you, you are ready. The tests of the past, the stripping away of illusions, the first revelation of clarity, these were preparations. Now the pace quickens because your spirit is no longer lagging behind your destiny. You are catching up to yourself, and yes, it can feel frightening. Acceleration often demands that you make decisions quickly, that you let go of old identities and trust in what has not yet fully revealed itself. But this is where faith becomes real. This is where courage is born. Because acceleration does not happen to you, it happens with you. It is a partnership between your willingness and the universe's orchestration. So tonight, when you go to bed, try this reflection. Look back at your day and ask, where did I feel acceleration today? Where did things move faster than expected? Where did life seem to nudge me forward? Even if the answers are small, even if they feel ordinary, they are part of the pattern. The more you see it, the stronger it grows. Because acceleration is not random, it is sacred timing. It is the confirmation that you have stepped onto the path your soul came here to walk. But acceleration is only the second sign. There is another, one so profound, so rarely spoken of, that most people never even recognize it when it arrives. It is a sign that doesn't just move you forward. It transforms who you are at the core of your being. There is a sign more profound than clarity, deeper than acceleration, and more mysterious than synchronicity. It is the one that most people overlook because it does not arrive as something external. It arrives from within you. The third and greatest sign that your true hour has come is magnetic transformation. It is when your very being begins to radiate a frequency that reshapes the world around you. Suddenly, you are no longer just noticing signs, you are becoming one. Your presence itself begins to draw the right people, the right moments, the right opportunities into your life with an elegance that defies explanation. Strangers feel comfort in your presence. Old friends say there's something different in your eyes. Even your silence begins to carry weight, as if your soul is speaking through the spaces between words. Ancient texts whispered of this moment. The Psalms call it the time when deep calls unto deep. Mystics of the desert said it was when the soul becomes a lamp lit from within, burning without consuming. In the language of modern science, it is resonance. When your inner vibration aligns with the greater field of creation and everything around you reorganizes in harmony with that vibration. But what does it feel like? It feels like walking into a room and sensing that the air itself bends toward you. It feels like prayers being answered before they leave your lips. It feels like carrying an invisible compass inside you, one that always points toward your destiny. And with every step, the path unfolds beneath your feet, as though it had been waiting for you all along. This is the climax of spiritual timing. You are no longer chasing signs, you are living as one. You are no longer searching for proof. You have become proof that the universe is alive, intelligent, and intimately connected with your soul. But let me pause here to speak directly to you. If you are feeling this stirring in your spirit, if these words are awakening something you already knew but could not name, then I want to ask you to help keep this circle alive. This channel exists not for profit, but for passion, for the deep joy of bringing hidden truths into the light. Each like, each subscription is not just a number, it is a flame joining other flames, building a community of seekers who refuse to live blind to the mysteries of the universe. If you resonate with this message, please subscribe and like this video. You will strengthen this sacred space, and together we will continue walking deeper into the mysteries that most of the world cannot yet see. Now, return to the revelation. When magnetic transformation begins, it often comes with paradoxes. Doors close in front of you, only to redirect you toward far greater ones. People may leave your life, but those who arrive carry the exact lessons or blessings you need. You begin to see rejection not as failure, but as protection. You begin to see waiting not as delay, but as preparation. This is where the spiritual climax becomes almost unbearable in its beauty, because you realize that the universe has not only been speaking to you, it has been remaking you. Every heartbreak, every loss, every unanswered prayer has been alchemy. You were not being punished, you were being refined. And now, like gold in the fire, you shine with a brilliance that cannot be dimmed. Do you see what this means? You are not simply part of creation, you are co-creating with it. Every thought aligned with love, every choice aligned with truth, every act aligned with faith sends ripples through the field of reality. You are not waiting for the universe to move, you are moving with it. And this dance, this sacred resonance, is what prophets and mystics long to describe, but could only glimpse in fleeting visions. It is why Jesus said, "You are the light of the world," not metaphorically, but literally. When your time arrives, you become a living beacon. The universe no longer whispers to you, it speaks through you. And yet, even this revelation is not the end. Because once you awaken to your own radiance, once you realize you have become the sign itself, the universe entrusts you with something far greater than attraction, clarity, or acceleration. It entrusts you with a responsibility so sacred, so heavy with purpose, that few are willing to carry it. You have walked through the signs, the piercing light of clarity, the rush of acceleration, the magnetic transformation that turns your very life into a living message. And now, as we reach the close of this journey, you can begin to see what it was all pointing to. These signs are not random moments scattered across your path. They are the language of the divine. The whispers of eternity calling you to awaken from the illusion that life is ordinary. Every number that repeated before your eyes, every dream that carried the same haunting symbols, every coincidence too perfect to dismiss, every door that opened, every one that closed. All of it was a part of the choreography of your awakening. These signs are not just about you, they are about what flows through you. They are reminders that you are not drifting, not forgotten, not lost. You are seen, you are guided, you are part of something infinitely larger than yourself. For centuries, prophets, mystics, and seekers have tried to put into words what you are beginning to live. That human life is not a random struggle for survival, but a sacred unfolding, a story written in the stars and echoed in your heartbeat. The universe has been preparing you not just to witness this truth, but to embody it. Because the signs are not only about destiny, they are about responsibility. Once you see, you cannot unsee. Once you awaken, you are called to live awake. And what does it mean to live awake? It means to treat every moment as a seed of eternity, to speak words that heal instead of wound, to choose love when fear screams louder, to trust the flow even when the river feels wild. Living awake means becoming a beacon for others, as so many were for you, lighting the path not by preaching, but by simply shining with the authenticity of a soul aligned with truth. You may think your role is small, but the universe does not measure greatness by size, it measures it by resonance. A single candle can light 1,000 others without losing its flame. And your awakened presence in your family, in your community, in your city, is more powerful than you can possibly imagine. So here is the invitation. Let the signs you have been given be more than curiosities. Let them be your commission. Let them be the sacred reminder that your time is not coming. It is here. Step into the responsibility that has been waiting for you. Carry the light that has been kindled in you, and watch as the world itself begins to change in response. And now, I want to invite you to join this community of seekers, of awakened souls who refuse to live blind to the mysteries. Leave a comment below with your name and the city you are watching from. In the next video, I will read your names and send a special greeting, because every voice here matters, and every light strengthens the circle. Don't forget to like this video if it has touched you, and subscribe to the channel so we can continue to walk this path together. This work is not about profit. It is about passion, about keeping alive the flame of hidden truths that too many have forgotten. Remember this, the signs you've experienced are not the end of the story. They are only the threshold. Beyond them lies something greater still, something that even words cannot capture. And that is what waits for you in the revelations yet to come. Because your awakening is not just for you, it is for all of us. And the greatest mysteries have only just begun to reveal themselves.